Archeologia Futura is the application into product design of the research and knowledge gathered through Mediterranea Creatura. Mediterranea Creatura is a research study on the potential repurpose of red Mediterranean coral waste resulting from the old craft of coral sculpting, which is traditional of the Italian regions of Liguria, Sardinia, Campania and Sicilia. I grew up in a family of craft people. In this workshop during the second half of the 90s, my family started a production of traditional coral paintings. Coral, and red Mediterranean coral in particular, is an extremely precious material. It is endangered as an animal species, and its harvesting is regulated by national and international regulations. Coral paintings for me have always been a bit reductive as a product and more a decorative artistic effort instead of a real product. And then as a designer, I started imagining what else could be done instead of coral paintings, and that's how my research started. As a designer, I've always been interested in the themes of regenerative material design, and with coral being at the same time a vegetal, animal and stone-based material, I was interested in exploring what other kind of application it could have been used for, and especially what kind of symbiosis and what kind of synergies with the animal and with its ecosystem could be created and fostered. This project proposes artifacts able to become ecological relics in a way that at the end of the life cycle, they can be reintroduced in the original ecosystem, the ecosystem of the corals, so the marine ecosystems. And they will be able to host the original organism that they originated from. Within this project, there are different disciplines and different topics entwining. Folklore, mysticism, mythology, crafts, tacit culture, local knowledge. But most of all, there's this material which is an animal and which is a vegetal and it's also a stone. So an ethical question was at the base of this project. So I asked myself whether craft could be the expression of human creativity without endangering the natural collective and the ecosystems. I wanted to ask myself also if we could turn the idea of precious for the economy into the idea of precious for the natural collective. So shifting this idea of something that is precious for money, but instead is more precious for life and the ecosystem. And also I had to ask myself what's the role of tacit knowledge and disappearing crafts and how we could protect the ecosystem. By tapping into the culture behind the craft, into the biological identity of corals, this project aims at addressing the themes of materialities, regenerative materialities, and the role of crafts in post-anthropogenic futures. The material research contemplates two different pathways. One is the production of a filament for 3D printing, charged with the finest grain of coral dust. And the second pathway is a ceramic-like medium with using a bio-based unifying compound. And in this case, thickest grains of corals can be used. Mediterranea Creatura means Mediterranean creature. Myself, the coral, and the craft, we are all Mediterranean creature. In this project, different storyline exists. Mine as a designer, the coral as a generative biology, and the craft is the expression of human creativity. These three agencies, the designers, the coral, and the craft, are three different creative forces that play a different role in each specific point of the product life cycle. Through my practice and projects like Mediterranea Creatura, Archeologia Futura, what I try to do is to bring together different attitudes that are natural, cultural, technical, to dialogue and get in tune with each other in order to foster a symbiotic creative effort. Coral have at the same time a singular and a plural identity. They exist on different planes, as a stone, as a vegetal being, and as an animal being. I think, in fact, that coral are the perfect example of representing the attitude of living as a singular multitude. And as human, we should really get inspired by this kind of natural lifestyles and learn how to build and create in togetherness with what is around.